Here we are, friends. We have officially made it to the first off-season back in the Premier League with Sunderland A.F.C. Now, it has not officially been confirmed that we have made Champions League football, but we did finish 5th in the Premier League. The coefficient is strong, as you know. Here we are, keeping our fingers crossed that we pull through and we get those fine nights playing for that beautiful Champions League trophy. But first, we gotta sign a lot of players. We will start with our season review. As you can see here, our signing of the season is our goalkeeper we bought from Udinese for $3.6 million, Razvan Sava. He played 38 times for us, averaged a 7.03, and if I remember correctly, he almost, not quite, but almost had more appearances than allowed goals, which is great. I love having that in a goalkeeper. He had 12 shutouts, which is a very strong showing in a first Premier League season for a young goalkeeper. He's only 23 years old. But if we look at some of our other ones in terms of average rating, Kurt Zuma, obviously an absolute stud. We got him for free. He appeared in 20 games, 13 goals, a 7.45 average rating. Arda Güler, a loan in from Real Madrid, came in 16 games and 13 goal contributions on a 7.2. Adam Wharton, big money signing, $68 million, 16 games, brought in January, 5 goal contributions, a 7.14. From the left side of our double pivot, Amad Diallo, loan signing for Man United, free loan signing for Man United, 26 appearances, 12 goal contributions, and a 7.1. Reinildo, 4.8 from Atletico, 5 goal contributions, all assists. Armando Broja, 20 goals, 0 assists on 35 appearances. Then it kind of goes down from there. If we look here at our transfers out, I would say we did pretty well. Patrick Roberts, we sold him for $7.25 million. He only had 3 goals for Osasuna. And Joe Bellingham, interesting. He only had 4 substitute appearances for Borussia Dortmund. Did not do very much at all. So I think all in all, the people that we sent out for good reason. As a reminder, we finished in 5th place, like we talked about. Right now, it says that we are officially in the Europa League, which at face value would be an excellent first year for Sunderland back in the Prem. But because the coefficient in England is so strong, the hope is that we are going to end up with a Champions League place here for 5th. As you can see, we started off the season incredibly well, and we used that to ride out some of these rough spots and then finished pretty strong to end us up in that 5th spot. Moments to remember, blah, 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 blah. All right. Well, all the revenue's up, money's up, sponsorships, broadcast revenue, corporate and hospitality, competition prize money. I mean, all of this makes sense. We're back in the Premier League. No new sponsorships. Harry Wilson has sold the most jerseys out of anybody on the team, which is interesting, considering he only got brought in halfway through the season. Simon Adingra, Kurt Zuma, Reinildo, and Enzo Laffi are there as well. Dream 11, Broja, Adingra, Laffi, Diallo, Luke 09, interesting. Okay, Dan Neal, Reinildo, Ballard, Zuma, Barinaga, Zava. Interesting that 09 is there and not Adam Wharton. Player awards, Fans Player of the Season was Dan Neal. Young Player of the Season, Dan Neal. Signing of the Season, Razvan Sava. Top goal scorer, most assists. We did not have any competition awards. And then this is our first season, so record breakers. Worst discipline, Reinildo, 10 yellow cards. We need to fix that. We can't be rolling around having our fullbacks on a permanent yellow card. Or we just need to sign 385 million fullbacks. in terms of supporters, we've gained 361,000 social media followers. I know how to speak. Our hardcore fans are down, and our fair weather fans are up, which is concerning because hopefully this isn't just a fair weather kind of deal. In terms of club vision, they want us to reach the knockout stages of the Europa League. Again, I'm assuming that's going to change once we actually get into the Champions League, and they want us to finish mid-table in the Prem. So they don't even need us to do as well as we did last year, which is great. We can just accept that current vision. Squad dynamics, we have Dan Ballard, Luke 09, and Dan Neal as our team leaders. I would love to keep Dan Neal. If you remember, I owed Dan Ballard a contract. Luke 09, I think he's just going to be here forever. End of season break, July 1st. Aye, Captain. All right, training camp. They want us to go to Vienna. Where should we go, friends? USA, Germany, Austria, South Africa, Scotland, Netherlands, Singapore, or China? I say we go to... Yeah, Austria is fine. Let's go to Vienna, Austria. All right, we are going to look at a couple of our incoming transfers here. We have a new goalkeeper coming in, Rome Jaden Owusu-Aduro. Don't know how you're going to fit that on the back of a jersey, but we're going to try. He is a 6'3" Dutch goalkeeper coming in from AZ. He played pretty well last season, 3 player of the matches, only a 6.94, but if we compare him to Razvan Sava, he is a much faster player. Mentals are the same, much better communicator, less eccentric, same aerials, a bit less distribution, but he is 2 years younger, and the same shot stopping, same physical. So with him being 2 years younger, he is an inch shorter, but he's a heavier goalkeeper. So I ended up spending a lot of money on him. He will be joining us for $15 million to start, up to $38.5 million. Josip Bracalo is a free transfer coming in. He is coming in from Fiorentina, where 12 appearances, 2 goals, a 6.7. At the end of the January transfer window, I got real squirrely about our striker problem. So I went and Endrick was on the loan list, as you can see here. They want him to play regular soccer elsewhere. And I said, okay, except his transfer came through after. So now he's joining us on the 11th. So we may have figured out our striker issue. He is only 5'9", but in every save that I've played, he ends up playing for like Manchester United and has a crazy career. Talal Haji, he is a 6'2" Japanese striker playing at Etihad. And he was on that Next Gen 50 list. We ended up throwing some money at him and just seeing what's going on. So if we look at our squad planner, Rome Jaden comes in immediately as our starting goalkeeper, which is great because Razvan Sava was good to be a backup. Right back, we still have Masuri, who is still coming back from injury, Barinaga, who played well at the end, and then Noah Siddiqui as well. Kurt Zuma will never play out that way. Left back, we have Reinildo, Ryan Aitnori, Jamal Lewis. Noah Siddiqui will never play out that way. And Aiden Heaven will never play out that way. So I think I have him listed. I have Reinildo listed. The club wants $35 million. We're probably not going to get that for him. But if we can get $105 million off the wage bill, that would be great, considering he only has 1 year left on his contract. I would love to nudge him out so Ryan Aitnori can take his spot on less money and potentially a little better fit for us. Center back, we have Kurt Zuma, Dan Ballard. Reinildo is never going to play center back. Luke O'Nien is never going to play center back. Reese Williams, Aiden Heaven. So I think we definitely need a center back. Well, Isaac Hines coming in, or I think we have an optional future fee for Isaac Hines. I don't know if he's the answer. He ended up playing a little bit better toward the end of the season, but we might look for like a true beat 'em up center back to pair with Kurt Zuma. Our ball winning midfielder, Kurt Zuma is not going to play there. Luke O'Nien might. Habib Diarra probably will not. Siddiqui won't. Aiden Heaven won't. So in terms of ball-winning midfielders, Dan Neal is still our starter. Luke O'Nien sits behind him, and then Adam Wharton isn't really a ball-winning midfielder, but we'll keep him there anyway. Our deep line playmaker, Adam Wharton, is our starter. Dan Neal can play behind him, but we're going to put Habib Diarra above. Siddiqui's not going to play there. Kurt Zuma's not going to play there. And Luke O'Nien probably isn't going to play there as well. So we could definitely use another defensive midfielder, a backup defensive midfielder, because I'd love to have Dan Neal, though he is wanted by both Crystal Palace and Norwich. Not super worried about them, considering we're playing Champions League football. And I would love a backup. Essentially, I would love a backup for our defensive mids. Attacking mid, we have Enzo Lafie, and Harry Wilson's not going to play there. Dan Neal is not going to play there. Joseph Bracalo is not going to play there. So we definitely need an attacking mid. As you know, Arda Güler is going to go back to Real Madrid. Love to keep him, but we are not going to be able to afford a Real Madrid player, even with $70 million in our transfer budget. So we have Adingra out that way. Broja's going. Isiodore, Jamal Lewis, Thomas Parmo. He is a player I have brought in. He will end up playing in this attacking mid role. Yeah, he will end up playing in this attacking mid role. We can add him because that's what we're going to do. Ooh, we also have Chris Rigg coming back. That's right. Hello. Oh, there we go. Thomas Parmo. We've got Chris Rigg, who has been doing pretty well. He might actually help us in this defensive mid role. But on the left, we have Simon Adingra, Joseph Bracalo. Harry Wilson can play over that way as well. Isiodore, if somebody wants to give me $12 million, $13 million for him, that would be great. And Jamal Lewis can go up there. Parmo is not going to play out that way. On the right, again, Simon Adingra. Harry Wilson is going to play out that way. Broja is not going to play there. Bracalo could. Endrick is not going to play out that way. Enzo Lafie won't play out that way. Isiodore, sure, can. Whatever you say. So we've got Harry Wilson, Joseph Bracalo, Simon Adingra, and Wilson Isiodore out there on the right. In terms of strikers, Broja is going to go back. We do have an optional future fee for him. I'm not sure he's the answer to the striker position, though he did score those 19 Premier League goals. I'd like to see if maybe we can get him either much cheaper or just reset there in the number 9 role. We do have Endrick coming in, so I'll be interested to see how that rolls. And Adingra ended up playing a little bit up at the top there at the end of the season. Again, Isiodore can leave. And then we have Talal Haji coming in. So the plan, having looked at the squad planner, I think our big needs, we probably need 2 center backs minimum. I'd love to get one each in this double pivot here, one ball-winning midfielder, one deep-lying playmaker. I think we're good on our wings here. A really great center mid, so an Arda Güler level center mid I think would be excellent. And then if we can find an elite level striker, that would be awesome. If we look at our money, as a reminder, we have a butt ton of it, a metric butt ton of money, $70 million. We have about 480, approximately 400, no, yeah, 480 $1,000 in payroll. Our budget is good, and yeah, we can kind of go ham here. I think our next step is going to be going forward a little bit. We got our number of coaches increased, which is great. So I'll put a search in for them. I'm also taking my Continental Pro license. So by the end of next season, I'll be a professional. Yay! So I think the plan is we're going to skip ahead to the 1st of July. That's about just less than a month and a half away. We'll get to free transfer season. We'll get to the start of the transfer period. And we will see what the fates have in store for us there. All right, I'll see you in a bit. I wanted to bring you back for this. It is officially, we had to wait almost 2 weeks, but we have officially been confirmed as having made the Champions League. We have qualified for the 2024 UEFA Champions League by coming 5th in the Premier League. They will enter the competition in the league phase. The Black Cats were one of the competition's more unpredictable teams, enjoying an impressive spell of form between August and November that saw them rise to 3rd, but also slid as low as 15th in an up-and-down season that did at least end with them exceeding expectations. So when I told you, we were going to be on a roller coaster here, I was not lying. But we are officially in as Champions League participants for the first time in club history. And we are in Europe for only the second time and the first in, I think, 50-something years. So huge, huge, huge signs of progress for us. All right, we'll be back. It is now the 11th of June. I brought you back a little before the 1st of July just to introduce you to our preseason signings. There are 6 of them. Rome Jaden Owusu-Oduro, that big old mouthful. Again, his font size on the back of his jersey is going to be about this big, but he is a 6'3" center back from the Netherlands. I imagine he's going to be getting into the Dutch national team here in the next couple of years. So excited to have him. Aiden Heaven is kind of a throwaway. He's 19, 6'2". He's English. Maybe he turns into something, but more than likely we will be loaning him out. Thomas Parmo, he is an Argentinian and Japanese central midfielder. He will be more than likely playing in that attacking mid role. We have signed him for nothing and are only paying him $8,000 a week. He will end up becoming homegrown at club. Very excited about him. You met Talal Haji as well, Japanese Saudi striker, 6'2", 18 years old. Again, he will become homegrown at club. But the 2 new signings you have not met. First of all, we have 20-year-old Asan Wedraugo from Germany. He is a 6'3" center midfielder. He will end up being a bit piece player at that attacking mid role. Maybe if we switch to a 4-3-3, he'll play in there, but at 6'3", I mean, you can't really get much better than that. He is only 20 years old. We spent $20 million, going up to $20 million on him, and I think that is going to be a really good return on investment. And then Lazar Samardzic. He is, again, a player that's going to play in that attacking mid role. He will end up taking the Arda Güler spot. But as you can see, phenomenal technicals, 16 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 long shots, 16 technique, 16 flair, 16 vision, 16s of a lot of everything. But he is 6 foot tall. He moves into channels, tries killer balls, uses the outside of his foot. tries tricks. We signed him for $10 million. He was on the transfer list at Atalanta after only playing 8 games and only starting 1. But he had 2 goals, and we are bringing him in for $10 million. So I am pretty excited about that. We will send all of them on an intensive language course. We will welcome them all. Oh, I thought I had clicked the assign squad number button, and I was like, why are we giving Dan Ballard a number? But no, we're just asking him to welcome our players, our new players. So I'll get all of these welcomed. I hate having to press this button every single time. La la la, la la la. Dan Neal. Cool. Right now, the U21 International Tournament is happening, as well as Euros. So we are going to skip ahead a bit, and I will see you back, more than likely, July 1st. All right, it is here. We are officially back for July 1st. That is free contract day. So I will be walking you through a couple of free contracts, a couple of trials, but importantly, if we go out to our transfer history, I have made a few signings so far. So Isaac Hine, you have seen before. Michael Foloruncio, you have seen before. And Josep Bracalo was a January pre-contract signing from Fiorentina. He did not end up having a super productive season, only 2 starts, but I'm hoping that I can get a bit more out of him as a backup option on that left wing. Some new people, we brought in Lewis Kumas from Liverpool on a free transfer. He's 20 years old, he's homegrown in the nation. I doubt he's going to end up being very good, or at least very worthwhile, but you know, it's somebody that we can throw in our Champions League roster, just in order to, you know, meet those requirements. A big signing coming in, Ben Godfrey. He is an English center back. He is 6 foot tall, 28 years old. We brought him in from Atalanta. They took a big loss on him, paid Everton $12.75 million 1 year ago. They played him in 4 substitute appearances. He averaged a 6.4, and we brought him back home for a third of that. So I think he's not particularly tall. His jumping reach and heading isn't particularly exciting, but he's incredibly fast. His physicals are excellent. His tackling is superb, and his work rate is right up there. So I think as a rotational center back, I don't think we could have done much wrong there. And a big signing for $18.75 million, we have Alberto Malheiro, who we have brought in from Villarreal. He had 6 starts, 6 substitute appearances, 2 assists for a 6.83. However, I'm not entirely certain that they used him well enough. He is very young. He's only 22 years old. He's 5'7", so he's a little on the smaller side. But his technique, his first touch, his dribbling, his agility, and his flair are all excellent. He has high determination. I think as a rotational option, again, for the Champions League, out there on the left with Simon Adingra, I mean, I don't think we did wrong. Again, we paid 18.75 for him, and now he's worth anywhere between 67 and 93. All right, this fitness coach coming in, 20 fitness. Yes, please. I have done quite a bit of rotation in the coaching department. A lot of the contracts were not available to be replaced until next year or the year after, so I have had to buy some people out. But I think all in all, it's going to be incredibly useful for us to replace some of the really not great coaches or staff members in general. Our fitness coaches being one of them. I think our highest fitness coach ranking for fitness was like 15 or something, which is crazy. All right, let's get some of these players in here. We can also go into our general manager, see who else is out there. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is January 1st. Everybody has been released. And my dude is not... Fiorentino is like refusing to bring anybody in or suggest anybody. I might have to replace him because, I mean, he's decent. His stats are decent, but like apparently he doesn't know anybody. And it's incredibly frustrating to know that there are people out there. Because like I said, I just did this right there. All of these people are without contracts, and none of them have shown up on the suggested transfer list, which is infuriating. Because there are definitely some dudes out there that need a team. So I don't know if this is the database or what, because I've never had this issue before. I've always been pulling in 75, 100, 125 names. So that's very frustrating. But it looks like some of the boys want to come in. Martin Dubravka doesn't want to come in. That's fine. He's 150 years old. Okay. He's going on... I don't know if he's going on trial with Everton or what. But I think we can get some of these boys in. If we go to our transfer history. So we got rid of Jamal Lewis. He went to El Nasser for $8.5 million. He was very excited to do that because now he is earning... Interesting. I thought he was going to get one of those huge Saudi pay bumps. I mean, he's not like a star name, but he's only getting paid $28,000 a week, which is not very much higher than I think we were offering him. Noah Siddiqui went on loan to Derby. Joe Anderson signed with Burton. He was like not a great center back, and he was out of contract. And so we sent him out for $58,000. We were able to get some money, which is great. Aji Elise went to Lyon for $6.25. And having gotten him for $750,000, pretty good return on investment. And then Matthew Young was a baby that would have never played. He wasn't a particularly good goalkeeper. Last year, at the end of last year, Reece Williams went out on loan. Louis Peary went out on loan. Ethan Moore. These all left on freeze. Yeah. In terms of bringing people in, Ellis Lehane is a baby, 19 years old. We brought him in from Spurs. Enes Sali, he doesn't have a work permit, and I'm trying to send him out to try and pick up some experience. But thus far, nobody has said that they wanted him. I can't believe I didn't do this before. More huge signings. We have had some incredible signings. We have signed Jared Branthwaite from relegated Everton for $37.5 million. Obviously, they have turned a huge profit signing him from Carlisle for just under $1 million. What is that, 8 years ago? So we have paid a bit, but at 6'5" with 18 jumping reach, 15 heading, 17 bravery, he's going to help. We're going to pair him with Kurt Zuma, and I think the two of them are going to do a lot of really great things together. And then you know that we brought in Rome Jaden Owusu-Aduro, our new goalkeeper that we can't fit the name on the back of the jersey for. But we brought him in from AZ for $36 million, and he has immediately, gotten the Premier League boost at I think it said that he was good for like $60 million or something. So we'll be excited to see where he can go with that. Mitrovic has left Al Hilal. Ruben Neves also has left Al Hilal. It'd be great to get him in. Ruben Neves, I mean. He wanted, the last time I looked at it, he wanted some crazy money, but he was still on contract. It's more. I mean, I'm just gonna have to take advantage of the ones that show up here because my stupid director of football is not doing anything with his life. Interesting here, Anthony Gordon has been put on the transfer list for $16.5 million. We don't really need him. He's not as good as the people that we have, so I think I'm gonna let that ride. But something to keep an eye on. Armando Broja is still has gone back on for loan, but I'm not interested in that. Amad Diallo is also back in on loan. We might end up bringing him in if they allow us to, but you know as well as I do, it's incredibly difficult to get the same player back on loan 2 years in a row. Hopefully that's something they change in FM26, but who knows? All right, Ruben Neves coming on trial. Sebastian Esposito and Paulo Roberto. Yeah, see, Ruben Neves would be an excellent fit in here as a deep-lying playmaker on support. Yeah, he would end up playing that deep-lying support playmaker. I know we currently have Adam Wharton playing there, but we have Adam Wharton playing there, and he wants to be a regular starter. But again, I think that given that we are now in Champions League and playing a lot more games, we'll be able to rotate a bit more and have some exciting matchups that we're able to create. All right, so I'm going to try desperately to get some of these stupid freaking people in, or get my stupid guy. Ooh, Adrien Rabiot, Saint Maximin. Let's go ahead and offer those people. Yeah. So I'm going to hope that my stupid general manager can do me a little bit better, but I might end up replacing him because I cannot stand being in a save if I'm basically signing players with a hand behind my back. So I'll try and figure that out, and I will see you in the future. We have done it. We have officially made it to the first day of the season where we will play Leicester City, who, if I remember correctly, is newly promoted. Yep, they are newly promoted and are immediately supposed to finish above us, which is crazy. As you can see, the writers, the league, doesn't think we're going to do very well. I'm hoping that's not the case, because it would be really nice to follow up on that 5th place finish with maybe another 5th place or even 4th. So it has been a long and winding transfer period. If we go over here to our transfer history, Nikolos Davrashlidze from Sabrtalo for 1.3 million. He looks like, as a 22-year-old, he's going to do all right. Obviously, he's injured right now, but I mean, 15 finishing, 15 dribbling, 15 off the ball. His pace is decent. He's got great natural fitness, and his composure is excellent. So I think as a backup or a backup's backup at the 9, we could do worse. Luka Lynch is just kind of a scrub that my general manager said, you need him. So we got him in for free. He'll be $1 million or so. And he's homegrown in nation. So this is our big striker signing. Hopefully he can be the answer. Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt for what could be up to 24 million. He's 6'2", 14 pace, 14 acceleration. His finishing is just okay. He's 24 years old. I'm hoping with this base, there's going to be some growth. Obviously, he just signed for Liverpool. If you have not seen that short that I did where I simulated his first season with Liverpool. Go and check that out with the little tag. But yeah, he was excellent. He helped them win the championship in that first season, and I think he scored 20 something goals. So if he can do that for us, that would be great, because as a reminder, we are trying to replace Armando Broja's production, and he had 19 league goals, but I think 24 total goals. So it would be really nice if he were able to kick on and give us some really strong work up front. Eric Martel was needed because we sold Dan Neil to Al Hilal for upwards of $45 million. Obviously, when the Saudi clubs come, if you're not Saudi money, they're going to say, hey, I either want $400,000 a week to play for you, or I want to go to Al Hilal and get that. Obviously, we can't pay Dan Neil $475,000 a week because that's crazy talk. So we had to let him go. He was our starting ball-winning midfielder. So instead, we brought in Eric Martel for $12.25 million. His marking and tackling are very good for that ball-winning midfielder role. Excellent teamwork and work rate. His stamina is superb, aggression and bravery. So I think he'll end up fitting in very nicely here. He's had 4 preseason appearances and he's already hitting a 7.1. And we've played some big preseason games too. We played Bayern, Cercle Bruges, Excelsior, Porto. Obviously, we lost to Porto and Bayern. Porto was a pretty rotated side. Hugo Ekitike, for example, was brought in as a sub. So this one, I think, is a much more representative score, and will probably give us an idea of where we're going to be in the Champions League, probably in that middle group. We certainly aren't going to win it this year, but I think we can give them a run for their money in a lot of cases, some of those big clubs. So Eric Martel comes in. He was at Cologne, 6.94 average rating, 28 appearances, 28 starts, 1 goal. But again, he was a defensive midfielder, so not really expecting much there. And then I brought Borna Sosa in, again, for a very cheap fee for such a technically skilled player. 18 crossings, 16 corners, 16 long throws are going to be vital for what we're going to try and do here. But he has come in and agreed to be a backup. So he's going to back up Ryan Aitnori because we got rid of Reinildo, finally. If you see here, we sold him to Celtic. Well, we didn't sell him to Celtic. We loaned him to Celtic, but this loan fee, $2.5 million, with a future optional fee of $21 million plus like $23 million in installments. So really, we sold him for like $40 million, which is excellent considering his value was like 11. And that's kind of where most of the other teams wanted to buy him just straight out. But Celtic were willing to give us an insane amount of money. So we said yes and replaced him for somebody who's much cheaper and is not on $105,000 a week. Big people that have left that we have not seen already. Jamal Lewis went to El Nasser, again for the same sort of reason. I think I've mentioned him before. A lot of loans. Habib Diarra, who is quoted at being worth somewhere around $30 million. Many of these are kind of just low transfer fees. Pierre Ekwa, I kind of created one of those bidding wars and got his value up from like $4 million to almost $7 million, which is great. Ian Poveda, $2.4 million. Abdullah Ba, Sheffield United swung in and said, I'll give you $7 million. I said, okay. Miguel Aziz went for money. Carlos Vinicius, again, a $1.2 million fee, but a mandatory fee of $6 million after 5 appearances, plus, I believe, some installments after that. So we got some decent money from him. Trey Hume, I kind of forced him out. well, I offered him out once, and then he got a grumpy that that he felt like I was forcing him out. So I ended up sending him out on loan to Crystal Palace for a $1.5 million loan fee with almost $19 million worth of optional future fees and then installments on top of that. Jensen Seelt, our backups center back, is on loan at Udinese for an optional fee. Nectar Triantis is going to Watford, or has gone to Watford, for just under $2 million. Wilson Isiodor, I don't know where Hull is getting their money in the championship. Yeah, they don't have any money, big money coming in, but they swung for the fences with him and offered 12.5 million. And I said, yes, please. And Timothy Pembele went to Villarreal. He will end up coming back, but yeah, so not a whole lot in terms of big money coming in. That's why only 97 out, when we probably have about 110 million sitting here, plus the 64 there. So we're sitting at about 170 million in, 97 out. So we definitely used all of that, or most of all of that $70 million that they gave us. We still have 54 million in our budget somehow. So the balance isn't looking super great, but our transfer budget's looking awesome. We, like I said, are officially at this first game of the season. That was our very first transfer period. So exciting. Looking at the schedule, I think I kind of want to test myself against some of these bottom clubs just to see if we're really in the position that the league thinks we're going to be. So maybe I will play that Leicester game or maybe the Leeds game and kind of just see where we're at. So maybe I'll play one of those if I can get back to the schedule. So maybe I'll play one of those, maybe the Leeds game, and then Chelsea. Leeds and Chelsea. I still think Liverpool is kind of out of our reach, but this will give us a home and away, and this one is televised, so big game. So I believe I'm going to bring you back for the Leeds and the Chelsea game in our next episode as we kick off our second season back in the Premier League. If you liked watching that video, please feel free to like and subscribe, press the little buttons and the notifications, the little bells to let you all know when my next video comes out. I really appreciate your time. Feel free to throw down some comments because like I said, I want to respond. I have yet to get a comment, but I'd love to respond to everybody and boost fan engagement. It'd be great to have fans. But like I always say, I'm trying to make this thing a thing, and I cannot do that without you. So thank you for watching.